biscuit of the stacks. It's tough. We were looking good, right? We got that Sillinger tertiary assist or the secondary assist.
Tertiary. Wow, look at you.
A little greasy one down there, but no, it just things weren't falling. We did get you were doing the Montreal game. We got the Suzuki Dock one, but we couldn't find a Caulfield point in that game. Also couldn't find a Kreider point in that game somehow.
Yeah, can you believe that? 7 goals, no Kreider point? I was all over that.
I know. That one, that sometimes it just didn't fall. So the stacks, first losing day in 7 days.
Wow.
That's like the risk. Like if you hit a stat, like if you hit a line, it's 3 units. If you lose it, it's a 3-unit loss. If you win it, it could be a 4-unit win. So that's a 7-unit swing. So it's always important to know the perspective, and those swings are pretty big. So
yeah,
not too much happening today though, bud. Washington, Pittsburgh. What was your take on the frenzy yesterday? It was a lot to watch.
It was, but
you had
I
Braden
enjoyed
Shen
it.
On. He liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Yes.
In my mind, I thought, like, I didn't really look at it, but like, is there enough good referees to like go through all those games? Like, that's a lot of officiating.
You know, I never really thought of that, and you bring up a very good point. You know, I don't think it's something that you could do on an every night basis. I look, that's something once in a while to celebrate, maybe once a month.
Yeah.
But what I think the NHL should actually look into doing more of is the staggered starts. Like, there's no reason why on a normal Thursday night, if you have 8 games on the slate, why you can't have staggered starts. Like, to me, it's a no-brainer, because the staggered starts just allows more fans to stay engaged, and you eliminate intermissions. Like, when everything's going to intermission at the same time, you can lose an audience.
Oh, and the audience is gone, but audience is gone.
Right. And that's what I really took out the format last night, is that you start games at 6:00 and you go right to 11. Now 11's late. It's only because you had every game, but why couldn't you stagger the starts 15 minutes apart on a normal Thursday or whatever, any day?
I get it. Happy everybody there in the chat. Good day on the Wednesday. Bosco saying already Wednesday again. Yep, good to be back. Pojen Stoner liking McMichael for a point. He was pointing everywhere. I couldn't find an Ovechkin point. And like, I want to bet Ovechkin under points, because his under points is plus 160.
What?
For a guy who's not finding the score sheet.
Well, a guy who's clearly starting slow, which is what he did last year.
100%. But today versus Fedotov, I don't think that's the spot that I want. Fedotov might be one of the worst backups in hockey.
So it's a home and home with them?
Yeah, it's the home and home. I would, Mr. Gerg says, I would rather have 8 games yesterday and 8 games today. Caleb Dewey says, do your job. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. No Kreider Trocheck point on 7 goals. It was wild. Some of the luck that I just couldn't find some hits. So before we get right to it, Tim Powell says he's got a meeting, but he wants to ask Carlo a question. I probably should have proofread this. Hopefully he doesn't say some bad words.
What's
at the
the question?
My boy's starting hockey, age 5. I've never played, just like watching. I taught myself how to skate, but I have no idea how to help him if needed. Any tips or tricks on how to better his success? Thanks for everything.
Tim, I'm not sure where you live, but I know there's a lot of, I live in Ontario, and there's a lot of public skates, and there's a lot of, learn to skate programs. And the thing with kids at a young age is that they don't feel comfortable on skates, so they have to feel comfortable with balance. And I'm trying to think of what those things are called.
Sleds.
Are they the sleds on the ice? They're skating sleds.
Yeah.
But they're like they're walkers. They're like walkers, and you can skate holding on to that. And it's actually great for a parent too, because you don't have to break your back holding your kid up trying to skate. They hold that and they just slowly get comfortable pushing themselves with the skate on the ice, holding the walker, skater, whatever it is on the ice, the sled on the ice. So yeah, look into finding those learn to skate programs.
And then on mine, I'll chip in. He didn't want to hear my side of the story, but I'll chip in. That Bauer program is insane. Like, you can get like I think it's like $250 full gear and like 6 sessions.
Oh, it's hockey in a box.
Yeah,
That's what they call it. Yeah.
That's a really cool one. I
Yeah.
think it's better for kids to skate if you're going to get them to play hockey with gear on, right? The stick helps them balance. Nothing scares me more than kids with their fingers on the ice and no one knows how to skate.
No kidding. No kidding.
Right? Like I got nieces and learned to skate and they got no gloves. They just fall down and people are walking all by their fingers.
Yeah, no.
Thanks.
That scared the crap out of me because I'm an advocate for skate lacerations with a company that I work with called Daredevil Hockey. And they created a base layer, a compression base layer that has cut resistant material, Kevlar, in the areas that are exposed. And because of that, I've been working with that so long, I'm like scarred when I watch hockey, especially with my kids. And I remember when my son started skating, we used to go to like these family skates. He'd be exactly what you're doing, like skating around with hands on the ice. And finally I told my wife, I said, do not let these kids go on the ice without gloves on. Please.
Hockey gloves,
like it's, yes. So
there we go.
Yeah.
See? Come for the prop advice. Stay for laceration tips.
The skating advice.
Yeah, skating advice. All right, let's get to it. It is an interesting game. I got a quote. We got a couple plays within this game. I think it's a 7:30 start. So it's a home and home. 4-1 last night. Washington scores 2 shorthanded goals in the first period to start Frozen Frenzy off. And I'm like, please, like, seeing what the time frame was, I'm like, oh no, that looks like PP2 gave them up both. And PP2 for Philadelphia gave up both.
Yeah.
What would have been like for the Flyers to go into that locker room with Torts, giving up 2 shorties on the same power play 2 unit?
Yeah, they probably would have ran out of towels in the locker room because I would imagine guys would have grabbed those towels and put them over their head while they look like they're pissed off in their stalls when they're sitting, so that Torts wouldn't make eye contact with them. Because look, I mean, those are things that could really, really set off a coach. And it's all details, right? It's all coaches, like a part of their job is to make sure you're prepared to play and you follow the details. And I get it, stuff in the game happens and, sometimes you can give up a shorty, but to give up 2, was it on the same power play or just that?
No, there were 2 separate power plays, but PP2 gave them up.
Yeah, that's not I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a shakeup on there just to send a message to the group today.
Yeah, exactly. So it was easy for me to pick out the 2 stacks in Washington, which is Stroman, Ovechkin, and Wilson and Dubois. But after yesterday's game, anything could happen with the lines in Philadelphia. So I'll be waiting to see back-to-back. They'll just have an optional skate, I'm assuming today, especially with the travel. And then you won't know the lines until right before puck drop, I assume, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. There's probably going to be no pregame skate, like you said. So
we'll have to see what happens with it. But I'm sure he's not thrilled within it. He was already mixing up some things. Scott Lawton drew back into the lineup yesterday. I think he was on the ice for both of those PP2.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Well, he just came off of having a baby boy with his wife. So I'd imagine he hasn't been on the ice much as of late.
No, but he actually, I would have thought that Torts would have throttled his minutes because he's not last year he struggled with Torts, right? Was it Lawton that was
I don't think it was Lawton.
Oh no, that was Couturier.
Oh, Couturier, yes. Yes,
yeah.
It was Couturier.
So but Lawton still played 19 minutes, so he wasn't too effective within it. So let's go over 6 minus 105.
Okay.
That's where we are. We've dropped that up. The flat 6 obviously gives us a little bit of a buffer there in the 4-2 game and a 3-2 game with an empty netter. But in this spot, Ivan Fedotov in for Philadelphia. I mean, your goaltending's not very strong when you got Sam Ersson and Ivan Fedotov, and you're 1-4-1, I think, in your last 5 games. I think they haven't won in 5 games. I think they picked up at least 1 point.
Well,
at least the line stacks won't be arduous. So Fedotov's played 2 games so far. He started, finished, gave up 5 goals in his first game, started, gave up 5 goals, was pulled in his second game. Logan Thompson on the other side probably coming in. He gave up 5 goals in his last game. Where do you stand on did you guys play a lot of home and homes, or is that more of like last couple of years?
I think it all depends on like vicinity.
Yeah.
Like Washington and Philly are a train right away.
Yeah.
I know when I played in Philly, we would train to Washington. So I would imagine like those home and homes happen with teams that are close to each other.
But
But
what's it like for the players? Like, did you get up for the second game? Is it just tedious, or is it just regular game and you shouldn't
it's
look
a
for much?
regular game. A lot of it depends on what happens in the first game, what type
Is there
of
less work for the players because of scouting? You don't like
well, there's definitely less work for the coaches. I mean,
yeah.
then not the players. You know, more so than just any other game. But like literally, you just if for the first game, not much is changing pre-scout wise. I think if anything, what would change is you watch clips of things you did good and things you did bad in the game before, and you try to correct those things, or maybe just find new tendencies that maybe you didn't see in previous pre-scouts. But a lot of it today is just going to be who's in, who's out, and a lot of the same messaging.
All right. Decipher this one. This is from Tort's message, a little post-game interview from John Tortorella, coach of the Flyers. If we just stay and play our game, it's not a safe game. It's a very aggressive game. We'll get our goals. There's a fine line of playing aggressive on your toes and checking forward versus cheating and hoping. That's when the wrong way, back the other way. Sometimes I don't know what these coaches are saying, but that's what he said. So that's what we have to watch here for. We've got a group of men that are going to figure this out. We just have to pull it together and not lose
Yeah.
ourselves through panic or frustration. What's that sound
Well,
like?
I think what he's referencing is that it's been a slow start on offense for the Flyers. I mean, in the 2 home games or 3 home games that they've played, they've only scored 1 goal. And I think it's 2 home games that they've played. And yesterday, they only mustered 18 shots.
They had 10 in the first.
So
I think they had 10 shots in the first.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, that doesn't yeah, they did. They had 10 shots in the first, 3 in the second, 5 in the third. So if anything, like as a coach, that's more of what you're referencing is that we're struggling to score goals right now. We need to do more to score goals. We have a game plan on how to score goals. We just got to go out and execute it.
So let's see if we have a mix up there. Last night, the combos were Konechny and Frost and Michkov and Dupa. Who was the other one? Oh, and Tippett. Yeah, Michkov and Tippett were the two pair. I think those ones will stay together. I'm not sure about old Frosty and Konechny. They might get blown up, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Nothing. He didn't change anything within the power play in that game. Let's keep it rolling. One more play. Let's stack. Throw out a real stack. Actually, put the stacks on the record.
Ooh, look at that stack. Wilson and Dubois.
Yeah, Wilson and Dubois plus 282 each guy for a point. They're playing big minutes, right? Like Dubois was always kind of a punching bag in terms of him not having a home, but playing with Tom Wilson might be where he belongs. Both guys played over 19 minutes last night. This is hitting 2 of 5. Wilson, if you can only take the one, Wilson for a point at minus 115 is probably the better look. He's got a point in every one but his games. And what I like here is the power play, both on PP1 with Strome, Ovechkin, and John Carlson, as I'm trying to remember off the top of me head. But Fedotov, he's given up 3 power play goals in 10 opportunities over 2 games. So, yes, you get a bad goaltender, but you also get a bad goaltender in a spot where not very good, shorthanded. And as you know, the best penalty killer is usually the guy between the pipes. And if you're not getting saves from him, it could be an ugly game. That's where we're going with that. Just the
Tom
2
Wilson
plays.
Tom Wilson's having an impressive start, 5 goals in 5 games.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like he's looking good, and that's the line. And I think who else is it? I think it's Carmichael on that line, and that's who we were talking about earlier. I should jump up.
Yeah, he's got a goal and 5 assists to start the year.
Yeah. So it is.
Not
Carmichael.
Mick Michael. Yes.
Mick Michael.
Yes.
Sorry.
I was like, that sounded
Mick Michael's
weird.
He had 2. Carmichael. No, he had 2. He had 2 goals last night, 2 points himself. But we couldn't get the Wilson or Dubois point yesterday. But we'll get it today. If you're looking for something on the Philly side, maybe go Drysdale for a power play point plus 375, plus 400, plus 425,
Ooh.
somewhere in that range. I think he's the safest one right there, but there should be a mix-up, so I'm not really putting a lot of eggs in the baskets of the Philadelphia offense. But I do like a better effort after something ugly happened yesterday and some backup goaltenders. That's where we're going to go today. I think goals, 6 is a good number. Should go up a little on the minus 105. Before we head out, big slate tomorrow. What were takeaways from the Leaf game? It was over quick. It was over quick.
Yeah.
4-0. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. My takeaway was, you know, all the good that's happened with this team so far to start this season. You're not going to play 82 perfect games. I think it's good for Craig Berube to see this group play this way this early in the season, because it's something that has, I wouldn't say haunted this team, but has basically showcased itself in this team for a number of years, where they play down to their competition. And coming into the job, he hasn't really seen that yet. And there's an opportunity for him to see this type of performance and try to rectify it. Now, people are saying fatigue. I don't buy that notion. Fatigue. You're highly trained athletes, but they didn't get great goaltending yesterday. I mean, the goals that Hill to be let in was
What
that's
happened to
not
Wall?
any.
What happened to
Was that?
Joe? Where did Joe go?
Well, my guess is that they probably felt that type of game was coming yesterday, and if Wall would have played that game, like they gave up 38 shots. That's a pretty heavy workload for a goaltender in a game.
I'm starting to agree
And
with the O-Dog right now in my assumptions with Wall. I don't like it anymore. Like,
well, hey, look, the longer
it's a distraction and you can't be healthy. I know you like Wall as a goalie, but it's stupid. It's getting stupid.
Look, man, I said it from the opening day of the season, that what he's done right now with this incident is that he has planted a seed in people's minds of doubt.
100%.
Because, can you trust him? And look, I don't want to jump to conclusion, because I've been that guy in that situation early in my career where, I was dealing with injuries that would just pop up and I just had to overcome them. I want to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. And the good thing is, the way Stolarz is playing, there hasn't really been that pressure within the team to rush him back. And I would say let this play out, because I really do believe when he gets the net again, he's going to remind us how good of a goalie he is, and we're going to quickly forget about it. But ultimately, he's got to do everything he can to change this label that he's created on himself.
I'm just tired of hearing, is he playing today? Oh, no. And I assumed he wasn't.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I think Thursday, like if you're trying to pick an ideal date for him to return, it's against the Blues. It's his hometown team. It seems fitting that would be a game, not just for Berube because it's first crack at his old team, but for Wall to play because there's extra incentive. But then again, how do you keep Stolarz out for 2 games the way he's playing? So
I'm still looking for Okay, there he is. Stolarz is about 35-1 for Vezina right now.
Yeah, I mean it's great value. I mean, why can't? I mean, obviously with the way Shesterkin's playing, that's going to be tough to beat. But
100%.
If this guy has one of those incredible years, might be very, very rich for you.
Tomorrow's game, Blues. Braden Shen on your show today said the game's circled. Big Craig Berube match. They want to go see. Talked about money on the board. Talked about how it is an important game for St. Louis. And it'll be an important game for Craig Berube too. So it's not just like it'll be one for one side. But St. Louis, they're certainly looking forward to go seeing Chief, I think, tomorrow night, especially in Ontario, no?
Oh, absolutely. Do you want to give La Bulldog 5?
He's getting 211 for that stack. He doesn't like that price. Should he take him individually? I say if you're going individually, I think you get Dubois plus 135 and Wilson minus 115. Sure. Take them both at that point. I think the buy point, because the Strome Ovechkin one is probably the more highly probable one, and I think it's like plus 160. Plus, any line stack at plus 250 is pretty sexy.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to say no. 211 is a big difference, though, so I think you're onto something, the Bulldog there, especially when you can get Dubois for plus money, like plus 115-ish. Stolarz is the future. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's recap that. Just 20 minutes and 2 picks. Over 6.5 today.
A lot of good combo, though.
Love the combo. Wilson-Dubois combo. Wilson flying under the radar right now, and Dubois just riding shotgun on a line that's basically doing most of the scoring for that Washington team, who, let's be honest, is playing pretty good hockey. And Philadelphia, not so much. But let's see that over hit early. Hopefully some power play points there, too. We'll leave it at that. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Carlo Colaiacovo. This is NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Thanks for joining us here every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 a.m. live. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time.
Same bat channel. Ciao.